Welcome to Car Free in Tennessee. I'm Jonathan, and this is my co-host Lucas. Today we're going to be talking about the Tern Quick Haul. So, quick follow-up from my previous video. In a previous video, I compared all of the Class 3 longtail cargo bikes available in North America, and I determined that for my needs and in my price range that the Tern Quick Haul was the ideal bike for me. So I bought it, and today I'll share my thoughts on that bike. First, let's start on the features. So, something that I really liked about the Tern Quick Haul and Tern in general is that they have this 10-year warranty, which is just for the frame and fork, but 10 years is a pretty long time, so that made me feel pretty confident that the bike was well built, as well as this EFBE testing where they actually go through and stress test the fork and frame, and they really figure out how much it's rated for. So I had a lot of confidence that the bike would really be rated for the weight that I wanted to put on it. Let's talk about the Bosch motor for a second. So Bosch motors are available on lots of different brands of bicycles. In my experience, Bosch are smooth, they're quiet. They don't have a particularly quick takeoff, but it feels like there is plenty of mid-range torque, and I think that's similar for a lot of different mid-drive motors. And Bosch makes a variety of different motors that have different power and are that are designed for different specific applications. So I got the Quick Haul P9 Sport, which comes with the Performance Line Sport motor, which I believe is more powerful than the motor that comes with the D8. I really liked this low step-through frame. I'm a fan of step-throughs in general, but this low step-through frame is really easy for mounting and dismounting when you're carrying a lot of weight, and I found that to be really convenient in my experience. Terns have this upright storage, so if you've got limited space, you can turn it up on its back and it will actually stay upright like that. I used that a little bit, but especially if I had less space to store, I can see that feature being very helpful. Handling was really good. It was very easy to maneuver. I really liked having the adjustable handlebar stem here. Even they market it here as saying that it's really good for if you want to share the bike with another rider, but even if you aren't sharing it with somebody else, I found it to be really nice to adjust that stem right to where it was most comfortable for my riding position. One thing that I did not realize at first is that the Quick Haul comes standard with a single kickstand. This double kickstand here, the duo stand, you have to order that separately, and I really wish that double stand came standard on the Quick Haul. I think any cargo bike that you're going to be loading significant weight on that long tail, that cargo rack, it's much better to have the double kickstand. So let's take a quick look at the P9 Sport. This is the one that I bought. So it is Class 3, meaning it will give you pedal assist up to 28 miles an hour, 65 Newton meters of torque. I liked the Shimano Alivio group set with the trigger shifter. I'm 6'2", and it was perfectly comfortable for me. I didn't try taking Lucas on it yet because he's too young, doesn't have the core strength to keep his head up while he's in that back seat, but in a few months, once he's stronger, we'll definitely get him on there, and I'll let you know how he does with that. I did really like the Shimano hydraulic disc brakes. These were smooth and they were powerful. They had really great stopping power, and I felt pretty confident carrying weight on the bicycle with those hydraulic disc brakes. Like I said, the P9 Sport has the Performance Line Sport Bosch motor. One odd thing about ordering a Tern, and I understand that this is the case with other bike brands as well, is that you can order it directly, but you have to have it shipped to an authorized Tern or Bosch certified bike retailer. And I guess it's important to Tern that a qualified mechanic is assembling and inspecting the bike before you ride it for the first time, which makes sense, but it was a little odd. It's a little different than some of the other bike brands I've looked at that you can order direct to your door. So that's something to consider. And I'm personally a big fan of working with local bike shops and having a relationship with the local bike mechanic for when you have issues that you can't figure out yourself. So next, riding experience. Overall, the ride is really nice. I like the high quality, sturdy metal pedals. I thought the handling was really comfortable and natural. The Quick Haul is really easy to ride even without the pedal assist because it's very light for a cargo bike in this class. But also just the way that the weight is distributed and the gearing and the overall fit, it was really well made and it handled really well. The Velo Comfort saddle that comes standard with the Quick Haul is definitely more on the sporty side, so on longer rides it probably wouldn't be quite as comfortable as the wider seats that you see coming standard on some other cargo bikes. One of my first rides with the Quick Haul was out to Walmart when it was 94 degrees and very humid, and I wanted to see how much effort it took me to do this very hilly ride on the Quick Haul compared to having done this ride on a non-e-bike. So Google told me that it was going to take 31 minutes to get there, and on the Quick Haul I was able to do it in 13 minutes. And you can see here that when I showed up at Walmart, I really wasn't sweating that much, so I feel like that's just really impressive for that bike to show how little effort it took with the pedal assist to get me there that quickly. At Walmart, I loaded it up with some goods and rode it home. It handled really well with this light cargo load that I tried at first. But like I've mentioned previously, I run a goat farm, and my primary use case for a cargo e-bike is hauling livestock feed. Therefore, I wanted to test the cargo capacity of the Quick Haul just with a single 50-pound bag of alfalfa pellets. So I hopped onto the Quick Haul, I rode down to the Tractor Supply. It was a little bit wobbly to load that bag of livestock feed, mostly because I had the single standard kickstand. So again, if you're going to buy a cargo bike for hauling cargo, which is the whole point, I would definitely want that double kickstand so that it's more stable as you're loading gear. I was really impressed with the front transporter rack. It was extremely stable, it was sturdy, and it didn't really feel like that front load significantly affected the handling or the balance. 50 pounds, that's a well-designed bike. So the real test was to see how the bike handles the steep hills here in Dixon, Tennessee. And when I was carrying the livestock feed going up the first hill, the bike could barely go 10 miles an hour. I know these are steep hills, but for the price of the Quick Haul, I was hoping for more speed. The whole point of getting a Class 3 cargo bike is for me to be able to stay with the flow of traffic while carrying heavy weight. Struggling to do 10 miles an hour on hills kind of defeats the purpose for me. And honestly, I may be asking too much of an e-bike. So ultimately, I made the decision to pay the restocking fee and bring the Quick Haul back into the bike shop, and I ended up trading it for the Aventon Abound, which I'll go ahead and review in a future video. Overall, I think that the Quick Haul is a great bike. If I lived in an area that were not so hilly, and if I were not trying to carry so much cargo, I think that it is an awesome bike for a lot of reasons. I think it's a really well-built bike, and I think it's a great choice for a lot of people, especially if you don't have really big hills in your area. But for me, it was already at the upper end of my price range, and so I opted to trade in for something that was cheaper but had more torque and was able to handle those hills better. If any of you have experience with the Tern Quick Haul or with the Abington Abound, please go ahead and tell me about it in the comments below, and thanks for watching.